1 and 1/4 cup, 1 and 1/4 cup, 1 and 1/4 cup of milk. Sorry, I was just setting up the top shot. Okay, we have a lot of things going on today. We're going to be making 4 different dips that you can make really easily at home. Drink my coffee, it's been a long day. And I've actually made a video like this previously, long time ago, but because of how YouTube works, probably people don't see it. I get a lot of requests for kind of like dips and sauces and stuff like that. So we're going to make some really cool dips. I don't know where to start. Okay, salsa. I'm gonna make a really quick salsa. It's not a traditional one, but it's a nice and fun one. Really kind of light, exactly how you want it to be. Perfect with like tortilla chips and stuff. So 1 red onion, 1 clove of garlic. So I'm gonna let that all mellow out for a bit by adding a little bit of lemon juice to the mix. You can mix up some limes, some lemons, up to you. 1 green bell pepper. I don't think we're gonna use much of it because it's quite huge. So maybe just the half will do. Remove this white pith because it's quite bitter. 2 beautiful plump tomatoes. So I'm gonna quarter them first. Then we're gonna go ahead and take out all that internal part. That's great for sauces, so you can always keep that. Remove the small bits that you don't need. Also, just make sure that your salsa isn't too watery. Slice those up, mix all that together. Some salt, and then a little bit of coriander. This is probably one of my favorite kind of like quick dips. You can add some chilies if you want to inside. I like to keep it nice and clean, just because it's really refreshing. I've seen some people add like olive oil and stuff like that. I like mine just nice and crunchy and kind of fresh. Leave it to me to have spinach and kale chips. Here I was looking for like tortillas. Let's try that out. Looks pretty good to me. Nice little bite, nice and tangy. Perfect. Keep that to the side. Let's work on the rest. Next, we're gonna be making tzatziki. So we're gonna do tzatziki, then we're gonna do a hummus. I was actually based in Rhodos in Greece for about 6 months. Tzatziki and hummus were things that I ate on a daily basis. Absolutely beautiful. I'm not gonna make a huge batch, so I'm just gonna use 1 cucumber. Honestly, you can actually keep the skin if you want to. That really comes down to just a matter of preference. So if you give some little green bits in there, it doesn't really matter. So 2 school of thoughts here. Some people will split it down the middle, as so, and would remove the piths. I honestly don't mind the piths, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep them. If you wanna remove them, completely up to you. You can also, instead of chopping them like I'm about to do, what you can also do is actually grate it as well. So I've seen many, many ways of it being done. This is probably like the healthiest one we'll have. It's also good just like as a salad or something really simple. Place all the cucumber in a bowl. Keep that to the side. Same as a while ago, 1 little bulb of garlic. With the cucumber, we add the garlic, juice of 1 lemon, Greek yogurt, toss everything together, a little bit of salt, black pepper, good quality extra virgin olive oil. Give it a little toss. So you can already keep it like this, but I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley. Perfect, tangy, nice and fresh. This is something that would be amazing just with, you can eat this with chips. You can also eat this just in a salad. You can add this to some lettuce. You can add it to absolutely anything. You can even add it to some like, not too hot rice obviously, but you can mix it into some any variations you want. Really good stuff, really easy to make. Next sauce, we are doing a cheese and bacon sauce. Definitely not the most healthy thing. 2 pieces of butter, place them in a bowl here. as that's kind of like melting down, 2 tablespoons of flour. Kind of like your basic bechamel white sauce, which you can add a lot of stuff to. I just want to whisk that, toast the flour and the butter a little bit, really build that flavor. Once all that's really well combined, slightly changed color, we're gonna go ahead, bring up the fire a little bit. I'm gonna add in 1 cup and 1/4, 1 cup and 1/4, 1 cup, 1 and 1/4 cup, 1 and 1/4 cup, 1 and 1/4 cup of milk. The milk's warm. It was simmering a while ago, so now it's still nice and warm. So what should happen here, if your ratios are correct, everything should thicken. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that to get to simmer. While that's happening, we can grate a little bit of cheese. So I got some cheddar. Ow, what? I'm okay. You'll see that the sauce is thickening up nicely, which is exactly what we want. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't go over. We can already start adding the cheese in there. Reduce the heat. Wait, there's a little secret I want to show you. Add a little bit of evaporated milk. If you've had cheese sauce before, you'll find that it has kind of like a sweet flavor, and that's exactly why. Well, that's why I think it is. But I've tried it before, and it's actually really tasty. Taste that already? More cheese. You never go wrong with more cheese. So you'll see your cheese is kind of like nice and silky, which is exactly what we're looking for. Keep that to the side. We're now going to chop up a little bit of bacon that I've been frying a while ago. You don't need it too crispy. I just want it to have like some texture to it. Some burnt pieces, some soft pieces, a little bit of everything. All that goes into the sauce. Okay, now to season everything, really simple. Onion powder, just a little bit, and some salt. I didn't want to season it a while ago because I wasn't too sure exactly how salty the bacon would make everything. That's all done, so we can go ahead and transfer it. Time to try it. Mama, that's good. The last dip I want to show you is my favorite, and not only is it my favorite, but it's something that I've kind of had to tweak over the years as I figured it out. I had a hummus that was once almost on the hot side, and I always thought hummus was something cold for me because I always used to buy it in the supermarkets or at the deli. Only when I started making it at home did I start thinking, okay, why do I need to refrigerate the chickpeas after they're cooked or anything like that? And so I started doing them with warm chickpeas, and it just became so much more silky and smooth and everything you want it to be. So one of the things I've learned online, I got this from a recipe online, is if you're using canned chickpeas or chickpeas that are already cooked, you want to boil them or on a very low simmer with maybe half a teaspoon of baking soda. Cover the chickpeas a little bit with some water, and what that will do is really plump up the chickpeas, so it'll make the hummus like silkier, smoother, and more airy. And you'll see that the skins will naturally kind of peel off like that, which is exactly what we want. So that was step number 1. So now we're gonna go ahead and build the rest of the hummus. So really simple. You can use a food processor or a blender. Make sure your blender is just a really high capacity and high volume blender to make sure it really kind of combines everything. And we're gonna start first with our tahini. So you need amazing tahini and a great tahini quality, and you want to actually put quite a bit of this. I used to put kind of like 1 tablespoon. It was definitely not enough. You're aiming for 1/3 to even half a cup, depending on how nutty you want it to taste. This thing is quite expensive in the Philippines, so you can kind of scale it down if you want. But I find the more you have, the more flavor it brings. So I'm gonna go for about like, say 4 or 5 tablespoons. And as you can see, it's kind of like hard and tough. So what I'm gonna do is blend it first with the lemon juice. I'm gonna use the juice of 2 lemons. And that'll really just help loosen everything up. I'm gonna add a little bit more lemon juice to everything. I'm also gonna add about 4 tablespoons of really ice cold water. The ice cold water just, I don't know why it does that, but it just helps kind of give you a fluffier, velvety flavor and texture. Let that run until it gets nice and smooth. Once it's nice and smooth, Open it up. We're gonna throw in some garlic and then the chickpeas. About 1 tablespoon of good quality extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of salt. Now this is where you can actually adjust. If it seems like it's too thick, you can go ahead and add a little bit of water at a time. We're gonna go ahead and taste it. A bit more salt. That's kind of what you want to happen for like a natural vortex to form with the blender rather than it being like super chunky. So we're gonna go ahead and pour it out. At this point, you can kind of just like make a mound out of it. Add some pine nuts. If you have like paprika and stuff, you can add paprika on top. But for me, that's a perfect hummus. You can put some olive oil on it if you want to. I'm gonna keep it nice and clean because it's beautiful.